the longest-running TV shows ever. Hello, lovely YouTube family! Today, we're going to talk about the longest-running TV shows ever. You really don't want to miss this! The start of the shows. These shows aren't among the best in television history, but they've lasted far longer than most. Some shows have been on the air for so long that your grandparents may remember them. There are numerous examples of series that have lasted over the decades, becoming icons in their own right, ranging from children's program to daytime television. Even current hits like Supernatural and Grey's Anatomy can't compare to the shows on this list. We've added a few more shows to the list that have stood the test of time in more ways than one. In lieu of episode count, all shows are ranked by how long they've been on the air. Derek Draven's update from June 5, 2020, we've gone back and included 5 more shows that either had a long run or are continuing in production today, as noted in the updated intro. Many of these shows have lasted numerous generations, which speaks something about their enduring popularity and ability to connect with a constantly changing audience. Number 13. The Simpsons, 32 years, still in production. This animated family has endured for decades, providing a source of entertainment for multiple generations. In 1987, The Simpsons debuted as a series of short sketches on The Tracey Ullman Show before becoming a full-fledged animated series in 1989. The show quickly grew in popularity among adults who appreciated its sarcastic humor and mature storylines. It began as the talk of high school students engulfed in Bartmania. Future animated franchises, such as Family Guy and South Park, would be inspired by the show, both of which have lasted for decades. Number 12. Doctor Who, 41 years, still in production. Since the show's inception in 1963, Doctor Who's adventures have been a part of British culture. Doctor Who would go throughout the world as a staple of the fantasy or science fiction genre, renowned for its ingenious storylines, wacky tech bubble, and a Time Lord who can regenerate his dying body to allow different actors to play the role. The original Who ran from 1963 until 1989 before being abruptly cancelled by the BBC. Rather than opting for a remake, writer Russell T. Davies would bring it back in a big way in 2005. This contributed to the introduction of Doctor Who to a new generation of fans. Number 11. All My Children, 43 years, no longer in production. After finding a temporary new home on the online network, this popular soap opera aired from 1970 to 2013. The show followed characters who lived in a fictional Philadelphia suburb, and it was one of the first daytime dramas to gain a sizable male audience, with 30% of viewers male. After being cancelled by ABC in 2011, the show was resurrected for a limited time, with a total of 10,755 episodes. Number 10. Saturday Night Live, 45 years, still in production. Saturday Night Live debuted on late-night television in 1975, and Lorne Michaels has kept it going ever since. While confronting societal themes such as racism, class, and politics in a way that all sides could enjoy, the show broke brilliant comedy ground. Comedy stars including Adam Sandler, Norm Macdonald, and Chris Farley helped the show reach its pinnacle in the 1990s. From Eddie Murphy to Chevy Chase, it's credited with beginning the Hollywood careers of a slew of comedians. Number 9. One Life to Live, 45 years, no longer in production. This was one of the most condensed daytime programs in television history, with over 11,000 episodes over 45 years. It was also one of the first operas to include some diversity, breaking the pattern of only focusing on privileged WASP families. One Life to Live is set in the fictional city of Llanview, which is a Philadelphia neighborhood. The Lord family, as well as the blue-collar Polish-American Wallachs, the middle-class Irish Catholic Rileys, and the African-American Greys, were frequently featured in the series. It was completed in 2013. Number 8. The Young and the Restless, 47 years, still in production. This show is still running strong after over 5 decades and nearly 12,000 episodes. The Bold and the Beautiful sibling show, which started in 1987 but did not make the cut, initially focused on 2 main families, the wealthy Brooks family and the poor Fosters. All the original characters were written off and replaced with original major families, the Abbotts and the Williamses, following a series of changes and departures in the early 1980s. Regardless of all the changes, the grudge between Jill Abbott and Catherine Chancellor, the most significantly enmity, has lasted nearly the whole run of the series. Number 7. Emmerdale, 48 years, still in production. The soap opera, which dates back to 1972 and has approximately 9,000 episodes, is one of the most beloved daytime dramas in the UK, as well as one of the most popular series on ITV. The show was originally titled Emmerdale Farm until 1989, and it followed the Sugden family of farmers who resided in the fictional village of Emmerdale, Yorkshire. As the years passed, several of the key characters were killed off, and new ones with more dramatic plot lines were introduced. Number 6. Sesame Street, 51 years still in production. This is without a doubt one of the most popular children's show of all time, with over 4,500 episodes. The show is known for its descriptions conveyed through Jim Henson's Muppets routines, and it also includes short films, comedic elements, and cultural context. The goal of the show is to teach youngsters about the world and current social concerns in a way that is both accessible and engaging, without being condescending or infantilizing. Bert and Ernie and Elmo's World are two of the most popular parts. Michelle Obama and Lupita Nyong'o, for example, have both been on the show as guests. Number 5. SESAME, 51 years, still in production. This Japanese children's anime holds the Guinness World Record for the longest-running animated show ever, having aired for more than 5 decades and 7,500 episodes. Machiko Hasegawa, one of the first female manga creators, wrote and illustrated the series. The show follows Sasei Fukuta and her family as they navigate life in post-World War II Japan with wit and love. Machiko wanted Sasei to reflect the then-current Japanese young women, so she was a free-spirited woman who didn't care what society thought of her. Number 4. As the World Turns, 54 years, no longer in production. This show was cancelled in 2010 after approximately 14,000 episodes because of declining viewership. As the World Turns was created by Erna Phillips as a follow-up to her former soap opera Gilding Light. The Yuses were the founding family, and they were all doctors, lawyers, and clergy during the time. This became quite typical in soap operas later on. The show ran at a glacial pace, and it was hesitant to introduce many new characters or touch on delicate topics, earning it a reputation as a conservative show. Number 3. Days of Our Lives, 55 years, still in production. This show's success was due not only to good old-fashioned soap opera methods for attracting fans, but also to the humorous yet still positive promotion it received from the most famous comedy of all time, Friends. Many other cast members and characters have appeared and left during the course of the series' 14,000-episode run, although the series' early episodes focus on the misfortunes and triumphs of the affluent Horton family. The Hortons, who were once led by patriarch Dr. Tom Horton and his wife, housewife Alice, remain a prominent character in the current story. Number 2. General Hospital, 57 years, still in production. This is the second longest TV drama still in production, behind Coronation Street, and has been running since 1963, with around 15,000 episodes. With 13 wins for Outstanding Drama Series, it holds the record for the most daytime Emmy Awards. While the show focused on the transactions of the physicians, nurses, and patients on the 7th floor of the General Hospital in an unknown city, eventually known as Port Charles for the first few seasons, and when we say few, we mean like 15, it expanded its scope in subsequent seasons, although one can be sure that in one way or another, a character would end up in the hospital. Number 1. Coronation Street, 60 years, still in production. This is the longest TV drama still in production, and the longest-running written British TV series, with a little more than 10,000 episodes and a runtime of more than 60 years. Coronation Street, a working-class neighborhood in Weatherfield, a fictitious town somewhere in Greater Manchester, is the setting for the popular soap drama. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the two videos that are on your screen because I'm